Hello everyone, we have another exciting new product for you from 4Track RR. This time we have a lowering bolster kit for the Aristocraft 2-bay covered hoppers. What you have here in front of you is two covered hoppers. This is an out-of-the-box stock one, and this is a slightly modified one with the lowering kit. As you can see, there is a slight distance here. It's about 3/16 of an inch lower than the stock car. What it also gives you is the KD mounting pad. So if you look on here, you can see that we have a pad here for mounting KDs 906, 907, and 1906. You get two mounts with each kit, one for the brake side and one for the other end of the hopper car, and it comes with a set of 4 screws. So let's get started and start taking these apart. Mr. Pictovid from Large Scale Consolidated was nice enough to loan us his car for us to install a set of the lowering bolsters. As you can see, the lowering bolsters come in black ABS. I've already gone ahead and pre-painted a set in gray to match his car. So what we're going to do is start the disassembly process. First thing you're going to do is flip the car over. We're going to remove the trucks just to make the disassembly easier. So one screw on this truck, turn the car around, and one screw on the other truck. Next, we have 2 screws on each end, one here, and one here, which hold the bottom into the body. So we're going to go ahead and remove those screws as well and set them aside for later use. Now that we got the 4 screws out, we can separate the floor from the body. Be careful not to break the brake rigging on this end, which is here. Next thing we're going to do is remove the brake cylinders. There's 3 screws on the bottom here. This comes apart in 2 pieces. There's one. Save the screw also. And there's 2. We're gonna save these and reinstall them on the new lowering bolsters. Next, we'll need to remove the hooks to also place them in the new bolsters. So I'm just gonna do one here and we'll continue the rest after. And there you can see the hook that we're gonna press into the new bolsters. So now that we have the hooks out of the bottom of the chassis, we're gonna cut the old bolsters off. So we're gonna basically cut directly behind the bolster here on this end, and directly behind the bolster here on this end to remove both ends. So let's get cutting. So now we've cut off the ends that we're not going to use anymore. These can go into your scrap bin or into the trash. We're going to take one of the new lowering bolster ends and place it on the bottom of the car. And we're going to align the edges of the car and the new bolster and push it in tightly, and we're going to drill through with 2 holes. I'm just going to make some marks here with the drill, and then I'm going to drill all the way through. You don't have to worry about being exact because these are just clearance holes for the screws. So we're going to do the same thing to the other end. You could use the same end because they're both the same as far as this part goes. Align. Made our marks. And drill through. This is a 1/16 inch drill bit that I'm using to drill these holes. Now that we got the pilot holes drilled out, we're going to open them up and make them a clearance hole with a 9/32 inch drill bit. Now that those are cleared out, we can start our reassembly. So taking the screws provided, pass one through a hole, and we're going to thread into the holes that are in this tab behind the bolster. And now we're going to install the screws into the opposite end. You just need to snug them. You don't need to over tighten. Now that we've installed the bolster, we can start reassembling the brake rigging. So we'll start with this hole over here, get it started and aligned to the brake. Put the next screw in, make sure we're aligned. And then the next part of the brake, which goes over here. Now, if you need to adjust it, you could just easily turn it to make sure everything's lined up correctly. The next step is to carefully reinstall the hangers on each bolster. And push them in like so they're in there. And I'll continue the process to the other four. Mr. Pictovid chose to put KD 906s on here, and as you can see that there is already a place for them on the pad. This pad can accept, like I said before, 906s, 1906s, or the 907 couplers. Or if you decide to stick with your truck mounted couplers, this also works as well. So now we've already assembled the KDs and we'll install them to the bottom of the car. Just making sure they're snug. And we'll repeat the process to the other end. Now we're ready to start the reassembly process, putting the chassis back onto the car. Make sure that your brake and your brakes are both on the same size. So because of the hooks that I explained before, you're going to have to kind of slightly bend the chassis to hook in and then press it into place. One thing you have to make sure is that the ends of the car fall back into the slots in the bolster. Once you have that, we can reinstall the 4 screws into the bottom of the car to hold everything together. Make sure not to over tighten and strip anything out again. And I'll repeat the process to the other side. Now you can see we have the whole bottom installed into the car. Everything is assembled and the hooks are wrapped around the end so they don't move. So the last step now is to install the trucks. So place them right on and reinstall the screws that we took off in the beginning of the video. Again, make sure not to over tighten and make sure your trucks move, not to cause derailments. And we're going to do the same process to the other end. Reinstall the truck. And reinstall the screw. Again, making sure not to over tighten. And make sure your truck moves and swivels. And there you have a completed lowered Aristocraft 2-bay hopper. This is available on 4Track RR. You can email us at 4trackrr@gmail.com, or you could give us a call at 570-417-5413. Look forward to speaking with you.